Hello, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. It is morning at the time of recording this. That's why I'm saying good morning. But if it's morning where you are, it's afternoon, whatever time it is, you're welcome once again to this platform. And if this is your first time here, you are welcome. All right, so today we're going to be looking at the different types of support and resistance in the market. Yeah, so if you're new to trading or if it's your first time here, you may want to check previous videos on support and resistance that I have made on this platform. This is a continuation. And today we're looking at the types of support and resistance. So very quickly, I'm going right into the video. The very first type that we have is the horizontal. I put it here as SNR, that's support and resistance. So the horizontal support and resistance, this is how it looks like on the chart. So we have the price moving within a range like this. We have it moving in a range. This is serving as resistance. That means price is bouncing to the low side from this area. So I'm going to tag this as resistance. So this is resistance. And where's the resistance that I wrote? So this is resistance, yeah? Let me push this a little ahead, great. So while this is support. So price is bouncing off this level. So this is the horizontal support. From this point here, support price goes up to resistance. It drops back to support. It goes back to resistance. It drops back to support. So this is what we call the horizontal support and resistance. Price is moving within this range, right? But then we know that price will not always move in a range. At some point, it's either going to break to the downside or it breaks to the upside. Okay, so what happens at that point? What usually happens at that point is this. So for instance, we have price drop. Instead of buying from here, maybe you positioned to buy from here, but that didn't happen. And that didn't happen. Price broke out instead. What we will do is that this area that it broke away from, initially it was support. But now that we have seen it break out of it, it's no longer going to serve as support. It would now serve as a new resistance because we need a point of resistance to sell from. So we initially wanted to buy from here, but the support was breached. Now we expect the price will go back so that this new support will become a new resistance. This is why you hear a lot of traders say resistance now turns support, support now turns resistance. And yeah, so this new support turns to resistance, and we expect that from this new resistance, price would drop to the downside because resistance means that there are sellers inside of that zone waiting to push price downwards. Okay, so down, that is the previous support becoming new resistance. Now, how about previous resistance becoming new support? So when we see price push like this to the upside from this support zone, for instance, and then we see it break out of it, instead of us looking out to buy or sell again, because this was the initial sell area. But now that we have seen that break, we're expecting that price will come back to retest this level. So this previous resistance now becomes a new support. Now from support, what do? We buy from support to the upside, okay? So this is how we work with the horizontal support and resistance. Let's go to the next one, which is the descending support and resistance. Descending support and resistance, this is what it looks like. Let me move around the chart. So this is what descending support looks like on the chart. We're going to go to the chart to find out, to look out for live examples of how we can spot it on the live chart. So we have descending support. This is what it looks like. It's like a channel. So we see price moving around this support to resistance, support, back to support, back to resistance. Even though it's coming down in a downward slide, we're seeing it move within the support and then resistance. So this is another way you can draw support and resistance when you come on the live chat, depending on what the market is giving you at the time. But support and resistance levels help you to know where to position for either a sell or a buy. And then we also have finally the ascending support and resistance. This is what it looks like on the chart. So we have ascending support like this, just the opposite of the descending SNR. So this is it, ascending support and resistance. This is where we have a bullish trend. So we have this ascending support, price moving to the upside from support to resistance, from resistance back to support, from support back to resistance, and until we see a change movement. So can we see the different levels that I have drawn? First, we have the horizontal levels, then we have the ascending support. You can also write it here to help you identify it on your chart. Ascending support, and ascending resistance. Very easy. You can put these annotations on your chart so that you know ascending resistance, so that you know what level that is. Okay, so we have ascending support and ascending resistance. The same with this one, but let's go straight into the chart so we can spot out, look out for all of these types of support and resistance that I have just mentioned here. So we're starting with the first one, which is the horizontal support and resistance. Let's look for a clear example of that on this chart. This is the GBP USD price chart, the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so let's see. Great. I see a very clear example here. This is it. This is exactly what I was talking about just a while ago. So this is support, this is resistance rather, and we have this level of support right here. Okay, so we can see clearly that price was moving around support and resistance inside of this zone. Just pay attention to this one here. Inside of this particular area, we have this resistance here. Price moved from resistance to support, from support to resistance, from resistance back to support, from resistance to support. You can see moving in this horizontal range before we saw that breakout that happened. Okay, so this is an example of how you can identify support and resistance levels on your chart. Okay, so now let's look for an ascending support or a descending SNR level. From what I see currently on the price chart, if you can do this, from what I see, this is a descending SNR. Let me do this again. A descending support and resistance level. So you can see that price has been moving around this support from here. It pushed to the upside and this acted as resistance. And then we saw this drop again, right? Into this level of support. And then from this support, what happened? Price pushed back to the upside. And then from this resistance, what did we see? We're currently seeing it. This is the most recent price action area. This is the current price action on GBP USD. So we can see how price is moving around this descending support and resistance. So from what we're looking at now, there's a tendency that we'll see drop back into the support level of this descending platform. Okay, so this is an example of the descending SNR. Let's look out for ascending. Let's see if we have anyone here that can clearly depict an ascending SNR. Let me see. Okay, let's look at another chart, because you can find this in literally all price charts, not necessarily this one. Any other one you can use to practice, right? The goal is to be able to spot these levels using these examples, right? So now this is a very clear example of an ascending S and R. This is one. This is, okay, great. This one already. This is an ascending SNR. Let me take this off. So can we see from here, this is one level here. And you can see what I have just done. Good. So this was serving as support. Price tapped into this level before, and then it pushed to resistance, back to support, to resistance, back to support. back to resistance again, back to support before we saw that breakout. So this is a clear example of an ascending support. Now, supposing this did not happen, we would have continued to see price move around and then just continue going up and down with the support line as our guide. All right. So that you're not just buying, oh, because I feel like buying today, you just go and buy. No, the support and resistance levels help you. They serve as your guide, as your pointers to know when to position for a buy and when to position for a sell. Yes. So I hope this has helped you learn how to identify levels of support and resistance. You need to go over the other videos that I've made on it if this is your first time here, so that you can have a better understanding of the concept of support and resistance. In the next video, I'm going to be sharing how to trade support and resistance, right? Because it's not enough to just buy because the market is at support and then you sell because the market is at resistance. There are key things that we need to look out for at those levels to click the buy button or the sell button. All right. So ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button. If you have questions you want to ask, you can ask in the comment section, and then let me know what you have gained from this video. Okay, so I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye for now.